In many real tasks, retrieval alone is not enough. Retrieval gives us evidence, but evidence by itself does not always solve the problem. Suppose the system retrieves sales tables from a database. That is useful, but the user may not want raw tables. The user may want growth rates, comparisons, thresholds, forecasts, or ranked options. That means the system must do something with the retrieved evidence. This is where tools matter. SQL tools can query structured data. Python can perform calculations. Search interfaces can access external information. Spreadsheet readers can pull values from tabular files. Code execution environments can transform raw data into usable intermediate outputs. Business analytics interfaces can provide structured insights. So here's the engineering principle. Retrieval finds the material, but tools transform the material. RAG provides evidence. Tools turn that evidence into actionable intermediate results. If the job requires computation, do not ask the model to improvise the calculation. Give it the right tool. Memory is one of the most misunderstood parts of agentic systems. It is not just chat history, and it is not just one thing. Working memory is the active scratchpad used during the current reasoning chain. It holds temporary internal state, such as a computed regional growth value that will be compared in the next step. Short-term or context memory holds what happened during the current session or conversation. Long-term memory stores persistent information across sessions, such as user preferences or recurring domain patterns. Episodic memory stores experience, including prior actions, outcomes, and failures. These distinctions matter because they support different kinds of continuity. Working memory keeps the task coherent. Short-term memory keeps the session coherent. Long-term memory supports personalization. Episodic memory supports adaptation based on past outcomes. Without memory, the system keeps losing state and has to rebuild context over and over. With memory, it can preserve intermediate results, maintain continuity, and behave more intelligently across both steps and sessions. This figure makes a very important point. An agentic system behaves like a controller, not like a fixed pipeline. The user provides a task, and the system immediately faces a routing decision. Do I need retrieval at all? If the answer is no, the model may generate directly from its internal knowledge. If the answer is yes, it retrieves supporting evidence. Then a second decision appears. Is the evidence enough on its own, or do I need a tool to process it? If a tool is needed, the system computes or queries further before generating the answer. This is what makes the architecture dynamic. It does not blindly follow one sequence every time. It routes based on the structure of the task. That is why the slide is framed as a decision system. The system is continuously making operational choices. Retrieve or not, use a tool or not, answer now or continue processing. That is a controller mindset, not a pipeline mindset. The benefits of Agentic RAG are real, and they explain why this architecture matters. First, it can handle more complex tasks than standard RAG. Second, it supports multi-step reasoning rather than forcing everything into one prompt. Third, it can combine retrieval with tools and computation, which means it can work with data rather than only describing it. Fourth, it can operate across multiple data sources, which is essential in realistic organizational settings. But perhaps the biggest benefit is this. Agentic RAG improves task completion, not just answer generation. That is a major shift. The system is no longer judged only by whether it can produce a grounded paragraph. It is judged by whether it can complete the required work. So the best fit for Agentic RAG is when the user is not simply asking find and answer. The user is really asking analyze, combine, decide, and explain. As soon as a system becomes more powerful, evaluation becomes more demanding. In standard RAG, many evaluations focus mainly on the final answer. In Agentic RAG, that is not enough. We must examine the full process. Was each sub-step correct? Did retrieval bring relevant and trustworthy evidence? Were tools used appropriately? Did the tool outputs actually support the downstream reasoning? Did the system complete the full task? We also need engineering metrics. What was the cost per task? How many model calls were required? How many tool invocations were needed? What was the latency? How long did the workflow take from task start to task completion? And there is a major risk here. One hallucinated intermediate step can contaminate the rest of the process. The final answer may sound polished, but if the workflow was broken, the system has failed. In agentic systems, process validity matters just as much as output quality. Tool use gives the system real power, and that means real risk. The moment an agent can query databases, execute code, send messages, or trigger actions, it is no longer just a text generator. It becomes an operational system with the ability to affect real environments. Take the example on the slide, a function that sends email. Without proper controls, a malicious prompt or even a vague prompt could cause the system to send the wrong message to the wrong person, expose sensitive information, or perform an action that should never have happened without approval. This is why tool-enabled agents must be designed with safety mechanisms. Permissions control what the system is allowed to do. Sandboxing isolates risky execution. Action limits reduce the blast radius of mistakes. Logging creates traceability. Human approval is essential for sensitive or irreversible actions. So the design lesson is simple. Never connect tools to an agent without governance. Capability without control is not intelligence. It is liability. We should be enthusiastic about Agentic RAG, but we should also be honest about the trade-offs. Agentic systems usually have higher latency because they operate iteratively. They are more expensive because they involve more model calls, more orchestration, and often more tool activity. They are more complex to engineer because there are more components, more interactions, and more failure paths. They are also harder to debug. In a simple pipeline, tracing an error is usually manageable. In an agentic workflow, the problem may come from retrieval, from planning, from tool use, from memory state, or from the interaction between several of these. That makes diagnosis more difficult. And there are behavioral risks as well. Tool misuse, planning errors, wrong routing decisions, and failures caused by weak intermediate steps. So students should not assume that agentic systems are automatically better. Sometimes traditional RAG is the correct design. More power is not always better architecture. This comparison table is meant to act as a design guide. If the task is a single fact lookup, traditional RAG is usually an excellent fit. If the task is standard document question answering, traditional RAG is still very strong, and agentic behavior may be optional rather than necessary. But once the task involves multi-source comparison, required calculation, tool access, or explicit planning, the balance changes. In those cases, traditional RAG becomes limited or weak, while agentic RAG becomes the stronger choice. So the decision rule is not ideological. It is architectural. Match the system to the job. If one retrieval step and one synthesis step are enough, keep the design simple. If the task requires controlled reasoning across multiple operations, move to agentic RAG. This slide gives the practical rule I want you to remember. Start simple. Use traditional RAG when one retrieval step is enough, when the answer is mainly grounded document synthesis, and when there is no need for external computation or application interfaces. Escalate only when necessary. Move to agentic RAG when the task requires decisions, when retrieval must be repeated or adapted, when tools are needed, or when the system must solve rather than simply answer. This is a very important engineering discipline. Do not add complexity because it sounds advanced. Add complexity only when the task justifies it. A reasoning loop is powerful, but it is not free. Good architecture is not about building the most sophisticated system possible. It is about building the simplest system that reliably solves the problem. Let us summarize the core ideas of the lecture. Traditional RAG performs one-step retrieval and one-step answer generation. Agentic RAG extends that model by adding planning, dynamic retrieval, tools, memory, and execution loops. The deepest conceptual shift is from answering from context to solving tasks with retrieval as one capability in a larger system. Agentic RAG is more capable than standard RAG, but it is also more complex, more expensive, and more demanding to evaluate. That means design choices should not be made based on fashion. They should be made based on task complexity and operational need. So the key takeaway is this. Traditional RAG retrieves evidence for an answer. Agentic RAG uses retrieval as part of a broader reasoning and action process. That is the architectural jump we studied today. This exercise is designed to help you practice the design judgment we developed in this lecture. Look at the 4 questions on the slide. A graduate attendance policy question is usually a classic traditional RAG case. A comparison of electricity consumption across 3 campuses is much closer to an agentic task because it may require multiple sources and computation. A summary of the university handbook may still fit traditional RAG if the task is only synthesis. But finding the cheapest supplier that also satisfies delivery and reliability thresholds clearly moves toward agentic RAG because it requires criteria checking, comparison, and decision-making. The discussion questions push you even further. When does retrieval become task solving? What is the minimum extra capability that turns RAG into Agentic RAG? And why might Agentic RAG fail even when retrieval is strong? These are exactly the questions a system architect should ask. These references provide the research foundation behind the architectural ideas we discussed today. The React paper is especially important because it shows how reasoning and acting can be combined in language model-based workflows. The original Retrieval-Augmented Generation paper gives the baseline architecture for grounded knowledge-intensive tasks, and the Augmented Language Model Survey helps place these systems into the broader landscape of modern language model enhancement. So if you want to go deeper, do not just remember the diagrams from today. Read the papers that shape the concepts. Good engineering practice always improves when it is connected to the underlying research. In the next lecture, we move from architecture concepts to workflow patterns. Today we discussed what Agentic RAG is and why it matters. Next time, we will study how these systems actually organize execution. That includes prompt chaining, routing, parallelization, evaluators, planners, and common execution patterns used in modern agent workflows. So the next lecture is where the theory becomes more operational. We move from understanding the architecture to designing the workflow logic itself. That is the natural next step, and it is where agentic systems start to become concrete engineering artifacts. Let me close with the main lesson of this lecture. The transition from RAG to Agentic RAG is not just the addition of tools or memory, it is a change in system philosophy. Traditional RAG asks, what information should I retrieve before answering? Agentic RAG asks, what sequence of actions will solve this task correctly? That is a much stronger idea. It moves us from static grounding to dynamic control, from answer generation to task execution, from a pipeline to a decision system. And that is exactly where modern AI systems architecture is headed. The future is not just models that know more. It is systems that decide better, act more carefully, and solve more realistically. That is the architectural mindset I want you to carry into the next lecture.